Just close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You're standing on top of a mountain just as the sun starts to rise. Below you, everything stretches out forever, covered in soft fog like a blanket. But up here where you are, the air is so clear and fresh you can almost taste it. Everything is quiet, really, truly quiet, and yet you can feel it, that hum of life, that pulse of something bigger moving through everything around you. The mountain doesn't shout about how tall it is. It just stands there, solid and sure. It doesn't compare itself to other mountains. It doesn't worry about whether the valley below appreciates its presence. It simply exists, rooted deeply in the earth, reaching up toward the sky. That's who you are deep down. That's the truth of you. When you strip away all the noise, all the explaining, all the desperate need to be understood, what remains is this, your essence, pure, unshakable, complete. You are the mountain. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need validation or applause. You just are. And here's the thing, real transformation doesn't always announce itself. It doesn't need to. Sometimes the biggest changes happen in the quiet moments, in the hidden places, in the spaces between words. Think about a seed. It doesn't grow where everyone can watch. It goes deep into the dark soil. It surrenders to the earth. And there, in that sacred darkness, surrounded by what seems like nothing, it becomes something completely new. The seed doesn't explain itself to the ground. It doesn't justify what it's doing. It doesn't post updates about its progress. It just transforms. Day by day, cell by cell, it breaks down its old form and builds something entirely different. And when it's ready, only when it's ready, it pushes through the soil and reaches for the light. Not a moment before, not because someone told it to, but because that's its nature. You're allowed to do the same. You're allowed to go inward without explanation. You're allowed to take all the time you need. The butterfly does the same thing. It seals itself away before it learns to fly. Isn't that beautiful? The cocoon isn't a prison. It's a safe place. It's a sacred chamber where the impossible becomes possible, where crawling becomes flying. Inside that cocoon, everything the caterpillar was dissolves completely. It becomes liquid, formless, nothing recognizable. And from that surrender, from that complete letting go, wings are born. Your withdrawal isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's knowing that some things are too sacred to perform, too precious to explain. Some transformations require privacy. They require protection from the opinions and judgments of others. While the world demands to see every step of your journey, insists on witnessing every struggle and breakthrough, you can choose to transform in private. You can choose to honor what's happening inside you without making it a spectacle. And when you come back, when you come back, they'll know. They'll see it in your eyes. They'll feel it in your energy. You won't have to say a word. The transformation will speak for itself. Now just breathe with me for a moment. Feel your chest rise and fall. Notice how easy it is. Your body knows exactly what to do. You don't have to think about it, force it, or explain it. It just happens. Breath after breath, without effort, without struggle. This is what alignment feels like. This is what happens when you stop trying to control everything and start trusting the natural wisdom flowing through you. A wise gardener doesn't pull on flowers to make them grow faster. She doesn't stand over them demanding progress. She tends the soil, she waters the roots, she removes the weeds that steal nutrients. She trusts the timing. She knows that growth has its own rhythm, its own pace, and that forcing it only causes damage. When you align with your truth, not what others expect, not what you think you should be, life starts to flow, like a river that doesn't struggle to reach the ocean. It just moves. It finds the path of least resistance. It goes around obstacles, over falls, through valleys, and doors you didn't even know existed start opening. Opportunities find you because your energy isn't scattered in 1,000 directions trying to prove you're worthy. You're not leaking life force through the cracks of self-doubt anymore. You're whole, you're focused, you're aligned. Say this with me quietly. I trust divine timing. I trust the rhythm of my own growth. Say it again. Feel how those words settle into your bones. This isn't just an affirmation. This is remembering. This is coming home to what you've always known. Here's something that will set you free. Not everything deserves your response. Not every comment needs your correction. Not every criticism needs your defense. Sometimes, and this is powerful, your silence is the most eloquent thing you can offer. Think about it. Someone says something hurtful, something untrue, something designed to get a reaction. The old you might have jumped in, defended yourself, explained, justified. But what if you didn't? What if you just looked at them with calm eyes, smiled softly, and walked away? What message does that send? It says, I know who I am. Your opinion doesn't shake my foundation. I don't need you to understand me to be okay. When you refuse to engage with chaos, when you decline to participate in drama, when you just smile and walk away, you show something profound. You show that you don't need everyone to agree with you to know who you are. That certainty, that quiet confidence is magnetic. People feel it even if they can't name it. Some might call it arrogance, but that's just their discomfort with your peace. Others will be drawn to it like moths to a flame, wanting to know your secret. Your peace becomes the message. Your calm becomes contagious. And isn't that beautiful? You don't have to say a word. You don't have to prove anything. Your energy says it all. Let me ask you something. Where in your life are you still performing? Where are you exhausting yourself trying to seem good enough, smart enough, worthy enough? Maybe it's in your relationships, constantly bending to keep the peace, saying what you think others want to hear instead of what you really feel, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, pretending to be interested in things that bore you, shrinking yourself so others feel bigger. Maybe it's at work saying yes when your whole body screams no, taking on projects you don't have time for, staying late to prove your dedication, never asking for what you need because you're afraid of seeming difficult or ungrateful. Maybe it's in how you dress, choosing outfits that hide your body instead of celebrate it, or how you speak, carefully filtering every word to avoid judgment, or how you present yourself on social media, curating every moment to look perfect, successful, happy, even when you're falling apart inside. But here's the truth. The moment you stop performing, you get your life back. You get your energy back. You get yourself back. All that energy you were spending on the performance, maintaining the mask, managing people's perceptions, being what you think they want, suddenly becomes available for your actual life, for your actual dreams, for your actual joy. Because real authenticity doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't need anyone watching at all. It just is. So breathe into this truth. I release the need to perform. My real self is enough. Say it slowly. Let it wash over you like warm water. Feel how freeing that is. You are enough right here, right now, exactly as you are. Your attention is the most precious thing you have. More precious than money, more valuable than time. Because you can always earn more money. You can always fill more time. But attention, once you spend it, it's gone forever. Where you put your focus determines what grows in your life. Energy flows where attention goes. Have you noticed that what you focus on expands? If you spend your days thinking about what you lack, you'll see lack everywhere. If you ruminate on past hurts, they stay fresh and painful. If you constantly worry about the future, anxiety becomes your constant companion. What you complain about multiplies. What you appreciate flourishes. It's the oldest law in the universe, and it's always working, always. So guard your attention like the sacred gift it is. Not every conversation deserves your mental space. That drama at work, that family member who always has a crisis, that friend who only calls when they need something. Not every conflict deserves your emotional energy. Not every problem deserves your problem-solving skills. You have permission, sweet, liberating permission, to pull your focus away from anything that drains you, to say no, to walk away, to protect your peace like the treasure it is. Whisper this to yourself: I spend my attention wisely on what serves my highest good. Feel how empowering that is. You're not being selfish. You're not being cold. You're being wise. You're being a good steward of your own life force. You're choosing yourself, and that choice changes everything. There's a kind of knowing that goes beyond words. It's that deep certainty that comes when you've walked through your own fire and come out holding truth in your hands. Not the truth someone told you, not the truth you read in a book, your truth, the one you earned through experience, through pain, through growth. This knowing doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it doesn't defend, it just radiates. You felt it before, haven't you? That moment when you just knew something so completely that trying to explain it would only make it smaller. Maybe it was knowing a relationship was over before anyone said the words, or knowing you had to take a leap even though everyone thought you were crazy, or knowing in your bones that you were on the right path even when the road got dark. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of certainty that needs no words. When you live from this place, people feel your truth. They might not understand it. They might even resist it, but they feel it, even when you're silent, especially when you're silent. Your presence speaks for you. The way you carry yourself, upright but relaxed, confident but humble. The peace in your eyes that says you've been to hell and back and you're still standing. The ease in your voice that comes from having nothing to prove. It all says more than any explanation ever could. Because real power never shouts, it never brags, it never needs to convince anyone of anything. It just is. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I met someone, an elder, who had this remarkable quality. They spoke very little, and yet people traveled from far away just to sit in their presence. One day, someone young asked them, "Why do you say so little? Don't you want people to know your wisdom?" The elder smiled, such a gentle smile, and said, "I used to explain myself constantly. Every thought, every choice, every feeling. I exhausted everyone, including myself. Then one day I realized something freeing. The people who are meant to understand me will feel my truth without explanation, and those who aren't ready will misunderstand my words no matter how carefully I choose them. So I stopped explaining, and that's when the right people finally started showing up. That wisdom is available to you right now. You don't have to wait for permission to be quiet. You can choose it today, this moment, right here. The winter tree doesn't apologize for being bare. It doesn't explain why its branches are empty. It just knows its season. The spring river doesn't announce that it's flowing. It doesn't send invitations for people to watch. It just moves gracefully and inevitably toward where it's going. You're part of these same natural rhythms. You're woven into the same sacred cycles. Some seasons in your life call for visibility, for reaching out, for engagement, and some, like maybe right now, call for retreat, for turning inward, for rest. Honor where you are without needing to justify it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for needing quiet. You don't owe anyone a show of constant growth. Sometimes the most growth happens in the stillness, where no one can see. Say this gently: I honor my season, I trust my natural rhythm, and feel how your body relaxes. Feel how right that feels, because it is right. It's always been right. There's a healing that only happens in quiet. There are wounds that words can't reach, pain that explanations can't touch. Sometimes talking about trauma just re-traumatizes. Sometimes analyzing pain just keeps it alive. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stop talking and start feeling. But silence, oh, silence can soothe them. Silence isn't the absence of something. It's not emptiness or void. It's the presence of healing itself. It's the space where your body can finally relax, where your mind can stop racing, where your heart can begin to mend. When you give yourself permission to just be quiet, to stop talking about it, analyzing it, processing it out loud, something miraculous happens. Your nervous system begins to reset. All that fight or flight energy that's been coursing through you starts to settle. Your spirit remembers how to breathe, not the shallow, anxious breathing of survival, but the deep, nourishing breathing of peace. Your heart recalls its own wisdom, the wisdom that existed before anyone told you who you should be. You don't have to understand every feeling. You don't have to figure out where each emotion came from or what it means. You don't have to solve every problem right now. Sometimes you just need to sit with yourself in gentle, compassionate silence and let the medicine work. Let the tears come if they need to. Let the stillness hold you. Let time do what time does. Soften edges, blur painful memories, create distance between who you were and who you're becoming. Here's something beautiful. Real honesty isn't about explaining every thought that crosses your mind. It's about living in integrity with yourself. You can be deeply truthful without being wordy. You can be authentic without being an open book to everyone. Your life is your statement. How you treat yourself, how you honor your own boundaries, how you walk through this world with kindness in your heart and clarity in your choices. This is your truth speaking. This is your honesty in action. You don't need to narrate every step. You just need to walk your path with integrity. The rest takes care of itself. You were born with an internal guidance system more accurate than any map ever created. It's called intuition. But here's the thing. It only speaks in whispers, and whispers require silence to hear. Your intuition isn't loud. It doesn't compete with all the other voices. It doesn't shout over the opinions of others or the doubts in your head. It just quietly knows and waits for you to listen. The more you quiet the external noise, the opinions, the shoulds, the constant commentary from social media, news, well-meaning friends and family, the louder your inner guidance becomes. Or maybe not louder, maybe clearer. Like tuning a radio to the right frequency, suddenly you can hear what was always there. It's always been there, always waiting patiently for you to listen. Every time you ignored that gut feeling and later regretted it, it was there. Every time you knew something was off but couldn't explain why, it was there. Every time you felt pulled in a certain direction, even though it made no logical sense, it was there. Trust it, even when it doesn't make logical sense, even when others question it, even when you can't explain your reasoning or justify your choice. Your intuition knows things your mind hasn't figured out yet. It sees around corners. It reads energy. It picks up on patterns and possibilities that your conscious mind is too slow to process. It knows the way home. Say this now with conviction. I trust my inner compass. It guides me perfectly, and mean it, because it does. It always has. So here's what I want you to remember. Your silence is not emptiness, it's fullness. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's not running away, it's coming home. When you choose to be quiet, when you choose to withdraw your energy from chaos and drama, when you choose to stop explaining and defending and performing, you're not giving up. You're waking up. You're remembering that you don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to approve of you. You don't need to make yourself small so others feel comfortable. You can just be fully, completely, unapologetically yourself. In the quiet, you'll find more than peace. You'll find power. The power that comes from knowing who you are. The power that comes from trusting your path. The power that comes from being so certain of your worth that you no longer need to prove it to anyone. And when you carry that power, that quiet certainty, people notice. They feel it. Some will be drawn to it, some will be threatened by it, but that's not your concern. Your only concern is staying true to yourself, honoring your journey, trusting your timing. This is your permission slip, permission to rest, permission to be quiet, permission to say no, permission to disappoint people, permission to let others misunderstand you, permission to focus on your own growth without documenting every step for an audience, permission to transform in private, permission to emerge only when you're ready. You don't owe anyone constant availability. You don't owe anyone explanations. You don't owe anyone your energy when you need it for yourself. Take your time. Stay silent. Focus on yourself and let the universe do the rest.